Do you think there's more tattoo artists that are getting into the industry because of online and like on those online courses? Is it getting more saturated?
Yeah, there for sure is, but like I said, you can't really blame them for taking advantage of the opportunity. If it's there, then it's there. But then, like, if you're one of the people is putting those videos up, you also kind of can't complain about the new generation because it's really your fault, not the person that's watching the videos and rolling with it.
That's true.
Hmm.
Super true. What's up, guys? So today on the Clutch Podcast, I got Mr. Bryan Vargas here, my tattoo artist and my friend. He's came down here from Santa Rosa, and kind of just wanted to touch bases with you and talk about your journey on, becoming one of the top tattoo artists in Northern California.
Right on. Happy to be here.
So tell them a little about yourself, Bryan.
Um, I'm from Santa Rosa. I've been tattooing for, let me see, I'm 29 now, 16 when I started. About 13 years.
13 years.
Hmm.
And how did you kind of get into it?
So my stepdad is a tattoo artist, and he eventually ended up apprenticing me.
Apprenticing you.
Hmm.
Gotcha. And before that, were you like in school tattooing or anything like that? Or
So he used to tattoo back in the day, like when we lived in the hood. He used to tattoo in our, well, it was, we lived in a garage, and then we kind of built a kitchen attachment to our garage where we lived, and he used to tattoo in our kitchen. And when he would be tattooing, all the crazy motherfuckers he used to tattoo in our kitchen, I'd be in there usually drawing the designs that he would be tattooing on people.
okay. So what kind of attracted you to kind of do that? Did you just want to kind of follow in your pop's footsteps and do that, or did you just want to do it for that time being, and then as you kind of progressed, you got more and more into tattooing?
Um, I guess I was always drawing since I could remember, so it was like it was just a hobby of mine that I always did. Um, and my stepdad was somebody that always kind of like put it in my head like to keep drawing, that I had a future in art if I kept it up. And I guess he kind of kept me doing it for a while. I always did it for the love of the art, but he was like a big motivation for me to
So
keep doing it.
got you. And when you first started doing it, how long did it kind of take you to kind of get good at it? Because I know that you've been tattoo. You said you started tattooing at what age?
I was 16 when I started tattooing.
So what age were you like kind of drawing art and everything?
I mean, I was drawing ever since I could remember. When I was a little kid, I used to like steal his stencil papers, and
Uh
I
huh.
would like in elementary school take the papers and like draw tattoo designs, and then take a deodorant stick and put it on my friends' like little temporary tattoos.
Oh wow. So can you kind of go back? You said put like a deodorant stick on there, like
Yeah, so now you got stencil stuff, but back in the day, I used to watch the way he did it, and he
ah.
would use a speech stick, rub it on the person, and then put the stencil on instead of using like the proper stencil stuff that you're supposed to use.
How sanitary is that?
Uh, I want to say it's not too bad. I guess I saw him do it on everybody back in the day, so
And they never had like a infection or anything like that.
not that I could remember of. I'm sure they would have brought it to him if they did, but it always worked fine for him.
Cool. So you said that you started really tattooing when you were 16.
16, yeah. I mean, I was tattooing my brother since I was like 12. Like
So
friends in middle school, like they wanted the little gang signs on their fingers or whatever. I'd do little things like that, but I wasn't like consistently tattooing. We would just like get bored and make a tattoo machine and tattoo. And my brother was always down to get a tattoo, and we shared a room, so I've been tattooing him since I was 12.
that's crazy. So taking a step back there, you said you made a tattoo machine. I've seen like a bunch of tattoo machines like on Facebook and like on Instagram where they create something like that
Yeah.
in prison or something,
Hmm.
and then they use some type of like little cord and some type of ink.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain what kind of tattoo machine
We
you
made.
made?
So we got a toothbrush, an electrical one. We thought we were hella smart for doing that because we're like, damn, this one already has a motor built in. It already does the movement for you. Like, we don't have to get too crazy with it. And then we put a tip, like, we took an eraser off a pencil, put it where the toothbrush part is supposed to go, and then we put a guitar string on it. And, I mean, it didn't really work that well. It must have been painful as fuck for my brother because, like, that little guitar string was, like, dragging inside of him. But it was, like, my first time tattooing with a machine, even though it wasn't a legit one.
Wow. And does he still have those tattoos today?
Yeah, he does. And he rocks them proudly, too.
Yeah?
He's always like, I ain't going to cover these up. We'll see.
So now that he has those tattoos, have you ever kind of, like, went back on it and, like, to like, retouch it up or anything?
Nah, we just let him rock. We're like, that's how it happened. That's the memory. Like, let it rock the way it came out.
So you've been tattooing from 16 all the way till what? You're 29 now.
Yeah. So when I was 16, at the time, we used to all hang out at a buddy's house, and he was like a neighborhood tattoo guy. His name's Fernando. Shout out to Fernando. And he would tattoo, and we would just chill there and drink and shit at his house. And sometimes I would draw and shit. He realized that I was like good at drawing. And one day we were chilling, and he's been tattooing all day, and he's about to start a new one. It's late at night, and he tells the girl like, "Fuck, dude, my back hella hurts. Like, do you mind if Bryan does your tattoo?" And he's like he draws hella good, you know. And she was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm down." And I was like, "Oh shit, for real? Like, all right, well, fuck, I'm not gonna say no." And, I did a cross and an SR on her, and when I did it, my boy was there watching, and he was like, damn, fool, you're fucking good. Like, you're tattooing me tomorrow. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm tattooing you. And then the next day, I did some letters on my boy, and I remember thinking, like, fuck, dude, I'm pretty good. Like, I felt hella good about it. And my uncle was there, and he was like, fuck, dude, you're tattooing me tomorrow. I was like, all right. And then the next day, I tattooed my uncle, and I messed that tattoo up so bad. I mean, it didn't help that he was moving a lot too, but it was also my first time tattooing ribs, and this is like my third tattoo that I'm actually doing with like a real machine, and the ribs is a whole nother type of canvas. And we did a big old famous star all messed up on his ribs. But after that, I mean, that kind of was the start of my career. After that, I kept doing it.
So when you first did that tattoo on that person, on that girl's back,
Mm-hmm.
it
was on her foot.
On her foot.
Ankle.
So when did you realize that you were good at it? Because I'm sure, kind of growing up, when you're like drawing, you must have seen that you're good at it, because you probably continued to do it and got better.
Well, it was a simple design, but my friends that were there made me feel good about it. Like my homies saying like, "Oh shit, like you're good. You're tattooing me tomorrow." And then the next day, like that tattoo actually, I was very proud of. And but yeah, it was like just the group. They made me feel good about it, and I felt good about it. And when you first start, I mean, you start with like your goal isn't all the way up here yet. Like at least mine wasn't. Like the way I like kind of started getting better and better was like my goal was something small, and then I'd accomplish that, and then my next I would make a next goal and then accomplish that, and then just keep moving up.
Nice. Now, when you were talking about the canvas on the ribs, mm-hmm. right? I've got my ribs tattooed by you as well too, mm-hmm. And that thing was painful, super painful. Fucking painful. Now, when the people you said your uncle that you tattooed, mm-hmm. was he like squirming around and kind of hurting?
He definitely was. So I have the excuse of saying it was his fault, but I know that I also didn't do my best either.
Oh yeah,
well, I did my best, but I was very inexperienced in tattooing ribs, so.
And I can only imagine, because when you're new, I guess when you're kind of starting off to it, you don't know how much pressure to put, right? And you might just be stabbing him, or
definitely that. Like, it's just I was too quick to jump into the ribs. Too green.
Now, talk about that journey from 16 to 29. Talk about how that process kind of went from, kind of getting better at tattooing. Because I got tattooed from you when I was like, what, 20, 21, 22? Or it might have, I think I was probably 20, actually. Mm-hmm. I was 20, so now I'm 30. So I've been getting tattooed from you for damn near like 10 years. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but that was like probably like the like the second half of your journey for tattooing, and you were still hella good back then. Like I was like, when I got my tattoos, I was like, dude, this is dope. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Talk about your journey, how you went from 16 to like 18, 20, and then to like now.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about how your tattoo journey kind of went along?
Yeah, so I started after that. I started tattooing like on the regular at my friend's house. He kind of had his room set up like a tattoo shop, and my stepdad, he didn't know I was tattooing yet. I think he always kind of knew he would eventually apprentice me, but I think he was waiting till I graduated high school to do it, because like since I was a kid, he would always tell me like these weird things that I wouldn't even like
Process.
I wasn't even there yet, right? Like I remember one time I got suspended from elementary school, and he like showed up, and it was like a regular thing back then, like getting suspended, and he showed up to pick me up, and he would say shit like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you want a tattoo in prison, or you want a tattoo at the shop with me and like make money and shit? And I'd be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, who said I'm tattooing? Like, you know? And he would like say a lot of little things, he would drop a lot of hints like that since I was a kid. So I think he knew that I was gonna tattoo before I even did.
So he seen. Sorry to cut you off there. So he kind of seen the potential before anybody.
Yeah, before anybody, because the rest of my family was super anti-tattoos. I mean, we only spoke Spanish in our house. Like, tattoos was like for marihuanos and like fucking drug addicts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, what was the question
again? I was talking about your journey from
okay.
like, yeah.
So the journey. So after I started tattooing regularly at my boy Fernando's house, I was kind of doing it behind my stepdad's back for a little bit, and then I finally told him. I don't know why I was afraid to tell him, and he was like, "All right, well, you guys better make sure you're doing everything clean." And he came through one time to where we were tattooing, just to like make sure that we were like not gonna give people fucking a disease or some shit, or not get one ourselves. And
so
he
at
was
this
kind of surprised, because like we had it set up legit like a tattoo shop, like in my boy's room.
So real quick, at this point, did you have any idea of like any sanitation or anything like that, or?
My boy Fernando did. I didn't, and he kind of like took me under his wing, taught me everything he knew at the time, and he was up on it, because when my stepdad came through, he was like surprised of how legit it actually was.
Nice. Now that was, how old were you at that age?
I was still 16.
Oh, you're still 16.
Yeah, still 16, and then so now I'm doing tattoos, and I remember one day I did this piece on one of my boys, and it was like the first time I ever used a shading needle, because I always built it up in my head as like this scary thing, like, damn, I've only done letters and like outlines.
Can you tell us what a shading needle is?
Yeah, it's like the needle that you use for doing shading. Like, one is a liner, and it's round, and the other one is they're either like straight like this, so you could like shade like this, or there's also round shaders. And I remember when I did that tattoo, I was like damn, I'm afraid of the magnum needle, so that's the one that's like this.
Is that so? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if when you shade me, that doesn't hurt as much, or is it the one when you're doing the outlining? What hurts more?
I think it depends on, like, if I'm doing solid black on you with the shader, it's gonna hurt just as bad as if I'm doing a solid black line. But if I'm just feathering in with the liner or shader, it's gonna not hurt as bad. So it kind of depends. If I'm doing something solid, it's gonna hurt. If I'm feathering something in, then it's not gonna hurt as much.
Mm-hmm. So now, let's keep going. Where you said that now that's when you were doing the shading on the.
Yeah, on one of my boys, and I remember I was afraid to use the magnum needle, the one that's more like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I used a round shader, because I was like, well, I draw with the pencil, so it makes more sense for me to do this with the round shader. And I freehanded this piece on it. It was like a skull with the little hat flipped up,
mm-hmm.
in the eyeball. And I was hella proud of it. I showed it to my stepdad, and at this point, I'm still 16.
Still 16. So you
16.
you got a lot of memories when you were 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, what's it called? He looked at it, and he was like, "All right, well, next week you're gonna start coming to the shop with me. We're gonna start your apprenticeship." And I was like, "All right, cool." I'm like, fuck.
So
Sick.
16, you're in high school at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was tattooing probably like 6 months at my boy Fernando's house when then my stepdad we started my apprenticeship at the shop.
Okay. And then how long were you kind of in the apprenticeship? And you know, how does that process work? Does he take you under the wing for like however time it is, and then he says flap your wings and go free, or
Yeah, kind of. Everybody has a different way of doing it. Like some people won't even let you touch a machine for like a year or two of your apprenticeship.
really?
He wouldn't let me do like walk-ins or tattoo, like like tattoo people that are walking in and even giving me the opportunity at first. He was just telling me like, all right, if you already have clients, like all the ones that are minors, you can't tattoo them anymore. And if you have clients that are 18 or older, then you could tattoo them here. And yeah, that's what I would do. I would do like the bitch work at the shop, and
Sweeping, cleaning.
cleaning, and then maybe once a week he'll let me watch him tattoo or something. Like he made me earn it the old school way.
That's what's up, yeah.
In a way, I mean, there's still a lot of old school things that I didn't do, like tattooing myself, which a lot of people usually do as part of their apprenticeship. But he did it his own way, and I felt like I really had to earn it.
Good. That's dope.
But there was like a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have gotten away with if I wasn't his son.
Can you talk about some of those things?
Yeah, like at the time, I mean, I was a teenager. I was in the middle of like we're from the hood, so like we're always doing like hood shit. And
yeah.
Like there's this one story where I think he sent me to go buy something at the store or something. Anyways, on the way to the store, I get in a fight. So he's tattooing, and the cops call him like, hey, can you come get your son? And they're like getting ready to take me to jail unless he came. But I'm like feeding them this big ass lie, and the cops are like all right, dude, like we understand, but you can't be taking things into your own hands. And then my stepdad comes, and they kind of break down the fake story I was giving them to him, and he's like, at first he was like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then I think he kind of caught on, and he was like, oh yeah, all right, well you can't be doing that shit. And then they let me go, and he took me to the shop, and he's like, fuck, dude, like what is wrong with you? And a lot of things like that kept happening. Eventually one day he fired me.
He fired you.
He fired me. And he
That's
was
tough love right there.
Yeah, he was like, well, you're either gonna like do that shit, or you're gonna do this at the shop my way. And I was hard headed, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do certain things, and he fired me. And
how old were you at this time?
I was probably 16 or 17, and then about a week later, he's like, all right, man, get ready, we're going to the shop. I was like, all right.
So 16, 17, and then hired you back. When were you allowed to do your own tattoos, and who was your first client?
My first client that was a walk-in is this is back in the day when like before social media really took off like that.
Uh-huh.
So like walk-ins was like the way to do it.
So you'd have to just stay there all day.
Stay there all day, yeah. You gotta earn it.
Okay.
You gotta build your clientele like from the ground up. Like none of this social media shit. And there's a group of people from the Coast Guard, like 7 of them that came through, and I think at the time we had like 5 or 6 artists at the shop, and there was like one guy that had to wait to get tattooed, and the design was somewhat simple, so my stepdad was like, oh yeah, he could do your tattoo. And I was like, oh shit, like, and I was probably like 17, 18 at the time.
Okay.
And dude, I was all nervous. I did a tattoo. The dude gave me like a $4 tip.
What kind of tattoo was it?
It was like an anchor, something like that, like some Coast Guard type of tattoo.
Uh-huh.
And
were you proud of it?
yeah, oh yeah, I was proud of it. And then afterwards, my stepdad's like, all right, guys, well, he just did his first walk-in, like made me get up, stand on a chair, and like do a speech and shit. It was hella embarrassing, but it was dope. It was a dope experience. And that was 2 years later. I mean, I was still tattooing like my clients, like just people, my friends or whatever. But that was the first walk-in I did, and then after that, my apprenticeship was
done.
over. Yeah.
So after you're done with your apprenticeship, like, do you have to like give something back to the person that was apprenticing you, or what does that kind of look like? Do they just take you under their wing just because they want to and they like you, or how does that look like?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot different from what it is now. I mean, I'm sure now it's not the same as it was back then, but No, I'm just like a part of the. It's over now, so I don't gotta do the bitch work at the shop anymore. I mean, it's hard to transition, right? Like I'm so used to doing it. Like sometimes I show up and start setting up for other people. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not the apprentice anymore. Like, I don't do this anymore. And but yeah, there's no. Everybody has their own way of doing it. I guess for me, it just meant that I could do walk-ins now and that I accomplished my apprenticeship.
Nice. So I witnessed you from the very beginning, right? When your rates were super low and it was just easy to get bookings with you all the
Mm-hmm.
time. This I can get in with you all the time. When did your business really start to take a turning point for you? Like when did you just like say like everyone just started to hit you up like I want a tattoo from you and everything like that? I'm super interested because like I seen that journey.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was like maybe 4 years into tattooing now, so 2 years after I finished the apprenticeship, and at the time I was getting just a lot of people like hitting me up for tattoos, and
Where were they hitting you up at?
they would just go to the shop, call the shop. I think by then like Facebook was a lot of people were reaching out through Facebook.
Was it people typically in the Santa Rosa
Yeah,
area?
people like local people, and I didn't really know how to organize. Like I thought tattooing was just like you learn how to tattoo and that's it. But then I started learning like all the other shit that comes with it, like scheduling and
The business side,
the
right?
business side of it.
Yeah.
And somewhat the business side of it, and I was hella overwhelmed. Like doing my own scheduling sucked. I mean, I was booked. I was taking in everybody that would hit me up. So everybody that would hit me up, because like when you're working at a shop back then, at least like you have to be able to do anything that walks to the door. So like
Huh.
it's not like you're focusing on one style. Like that's something that's kind of newer now. Like you have to be good at doing walk-ins, and you never know what's gonna walk in.
So like you're saying that if they wanted, because you do typically black and
Black
gray.
and gray now.
So if somebody wanted to do like a color and everything like
Yeah,
that,
I would do color. I was actually
that's back then, right?
really into color back then. When I first started my career, I wanted to do full color portraits and realism, but I mean, all the homies wanted black and gray.
Yep.
So that's what I kind of grew in the most. I mean, I was growing in color too, but then eventually I reached the point where I was like, all right, for branding, like it's always better to pick one or the other.
Right.
And I picked black and gray because that's kind of what I was more passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I do now.
What do you think is more popular and why?
I think black and gray is more popular because when like the full color realism first came on the scene, it was super big,
Mm-hmm.
and then years later, as those tattoos heal and age, I think the black and gray ones were just aging better.
Sick.
And not that there's not tattoo artists that do color that kill it and know how to do a solid tattoo, but I'd say there's probably less tattoo artists that do color that can do a tattoo that lasts a long time compared to black and gray.
Oh, nice.
So it kind of like the black and gray kind of lasted longer, I guess.
So let's talk about the business side now, because I know like you left the shop, you opened up your own shop, you had an apprentice under you, and then you took over another shop.
Yeah.
Let's kind of talk about that, and how does that differentiate now? Because you're working under somebody, you're doing tattoos for yourself, and now you're kind of you have a tattoo shop, and people are doing tattoos under. Is it your brand, or how does that look like?
So I was at my stepdad's shop for 10 years.
Okay.
Then I opened up a private studio.
Okay.
And then years later, my stepdad wanted to sell his shop, and I bought it off of him. I probably had it for maybe a year or two, and but now I want to open up a shop where it's kind of put together. Like it's a shop, and I still have a private studio in it, which is what I'm doing now. I just signed the lease like a week ago.
Oh, nice. Where at?
In Santa Rosa.
Okay. Is it
And,
a lot bigger or?
Yeah, it's a lot bigger. And the reason was because when I bought my stepdad's shop, if I wanted to hire, like the guys that were already working there were already established. Like they're booked out like months at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to grow the shop, so I wanted to hire new people. But they wanted like more of a private studio type of environment, which made sense for them because they were already booked out for months.
Okay.
And then for me to be able to hire new people, I would need the shop to have that walk-in traffic, and it was hard to like convince them to like, oh, come during these hours because I wanted to build the shop up a little more to be able to hire new people, and it was just hard to like to hire new people because they knew that shop kind of has a reputation of having like
Foot traffic.
not having that much foot traffic anymore because
Oh.
all the guys there are just like appointment only.
Oh. Okay.
And so I made the choice to sell it to those guys, and now
Oh, so you sold American Classic.
yeah, American Dream Tattoo, I sold it to the guys I worked there now.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're the day that they're gonna buy it off me is like in a week or so.
Okay. Congrats.
And I think that's also good for the shop because now the three of them are gonna want to. Because if I would have sold it to one of them, they would have the same issue I was having, where like the other two artists are gonna just want to go in and leave and not be there, like not have like shop hours. And since I sold it to the three of them, now I think they're all gonna be on the same page and want to create that foot traffic so that they could hire more people.
Nice. So now, you're kind of getting into business as far as like, you still have your business when you're kind of tattooing because you have your own network and everything like that. How has that kind of helped you, looking down the road now, like you want to open up your tattoo shop, like, dealing with people? Because I know when I dealt with people on a day in, day out basis, like it helped me out with business a lot, in sales and everything like that. How much has that helped you, like, on your journey and growth? Like, I know that you're trying to do a couple of things. You have your clothing line as well too. And then you're opening up another shop, and me and you talked about a couple of things, and like some businesses as well too. Like, how much has that helped you?
What, like having gone through all these other?
Yeah, going through all these phases and dealing with people and like scheduling and like really kind of growing your business.
So I learned that I gotta like create a team. Like doing it all by myself is not gonna work out. I gotta find people to bring along and like an assistant, for example, to do my scheduling for me. And then I also had to learn that like having an assistant is also a job too. Because the first time I had an assistant, I just hired an assistant, and I was like, okay, all my problems are gonna go away. Like
I remember that.
And then like he was like, well, dude, I need you to know like what you want. Like all these people are hitting me up. I'm like, all right, keep booking. All right, stop booking. And then like he kind of didn't know how to do it, but it was my fault because I didn't know how to manage an assistant. So now I kind of got the hang of that for myself, but for this new spot that I'm gonna get an assistant for the whole shop. So yeah, I've just been talking to friends that have kind of already done what I'm trying to do, and taking their advice, and we'll see how it goes now moving forward.
Nice. Now, as far as the tattoo industry, do you have any other like investments in any other businesses? I know that you're looking at real estate and things of that sort.
Yeah, so I try to keep like my like you could only, because I'm like a middle child, right, between the old school and the new school.
Okay.
Even though a lot of like new school tattoo artists are probably around my age, but because I started so young, I still was able to see a lot of the old school ways. So they're like instilled in me. And like, sure, I could do like courses or something like that, but like I wouldn't do it because it's almost disrespectful in the traditional standpoint to the industry. Like a lot of old school people complain about the new school people even being in the industry. Like
really,
like back in the day, you wouldn't even walk into a tattoo. You wouldn't even dare to walk into a tattoo shop. Like you guys are soft, Right. And now they're like, which is good and bad, right? Because they've taken the tattoo. I mean, tattoos are like great now. Compared to like back in the day where most people just did traditional. Right. And what's it called? Sorry, what was the question again?
So let me ask you another. Let's kind of get into a different topic as far as some of your favorite tattoos. Like, what's your favorite tattoo to tattoo? I know that you get asked some crazy stuff. Let's talk about what's your favorite tattoo.
Tattoo?
Yeah, favorite things to tattoo.
I guess anything that would challenge me, something different. Even if it's like something that is typical, but like I want to do it differently. Anything that's different, I guess. I don't want to like, settle for like the easy composition.
So when you say like easy composition, like I have a major back piece. You know, our buddy Teddy, he's got like major pieces as well too. Like, is that something that you like to do? Because a lot of the times people ask me, like, man, your tattoos are sick, and you know, they're like, oh, I want a tattoo too, and I'm like, and they're like, oh yeah, I was like, yeah, my artist is Bryan Vargas. And like I don't even want to tell you about them because it's just a small piece. I'm like, yeah, like do you only focus on like bigger pieces? Larger scale projects, right?
Come back to because I layer a lot of my work, so like for me to just do one piece on someone, it's not gonna be like finished to me if I just do one session on one person. So
right.
I need people that are gonna want like
something big.
Yeah. That I'm gonna like be able to get into a lot and have fun doing it.
Right. Like with me, I'm like we've been going hard for a minute, and you know we still got a lot to kind of cover on here. Tell me about your craziest tattoo story.
Craziest tattoo story.
You've told me a couple. You've told me a couple of them, and they're pretty funny. But I want to hear from you. What was your craziest tattoo story? Crazy client, a crazy situation.
So many. I guess situations. You know, like I'm trying to think of a story that I could tell you.
What about the one when the guy fell asleep?
The guy fell asleep. Which one?
I think you told me, and then the guy fell asleep, and then he was just like, I think he was on drugs or something like that, and then he fell asleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy, he was like, so I had him like a few days in a row, and the first day he's drinking like, he was kind of out of it, but he had flown in like that morning, so I was like, oh, maybe he's hella tired, you know. And he was like drinking energy drinks all day, and like he was being like he was falling asleep and shit. But I just thought maybe he's tired. And the next day, no, actually after that session, the first day, I'm at Safeway getting some stuff, and I see the energy drink that he was drinking, and I was like, oh, this is what my client was drinking today. I got it, and it was like alcohol.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, this dude was drinking alcohol all fucking day.
So you didn't even notice?
I didn't know, yeah. And it was like a wine, so it wasn't like I could hella smell it on him or anything. And then the next day, I'm at the studio, and dude's just like not showing up. And I hit him up, and I'm like, yo, our appointment is like, it was like 30 minutes ago. And he's like, I'll be there at 1. Like, not even
apologetic.
Yeah, like, I'm like, what the hell? And then, like, 1 comes around. I don't even know why I was dealing with that. Like, I don't even know why I waited. And I'm like, all right, it's 1 o'clock. He's not here. I'm out. You know, it was like 1:15. And then he's, like, pulling up as I'm walking out. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He's here. You know, let's do a session. And then he was like on pills or something. And, yeah, he showed up with a bottle.
A bottle?
A bottle. And I was like,
isn't that bad for you though? Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll bleed and all that, but I just don't like tattooing people when they're under the influence of anything.
Right.
And I was like, yo, bro, like, you can't drink here. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't drink. And then like I started noticing like I'd go in the bathroom, and like, when I come out, like the tops would be screwed off of the bottles and shit. And what's it called?
So he's screwing off. So when you go to the bathroom, he's screwing off the bottle, taking like, how did this? That's crazy. Like this guy must have paid you big money to try to get in there because you charge. You're up there. So like, he sounds almost like a drunk.
Yeah, and then what's it called? Yeah, he kept doing like things like that, and then like one time I went in the bathroom and I came out and he had his bottles like right next to him, like this, and like he was like the whole time he was like kind of in and out of sleep and like like moving his arms and shit, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor and put your bottles somewhere else because I don't want you to spill them, and he kind of was like out, like not really comprehending what I'm telling him, and I'm like shit, I'm gonna just finish this tattoo and then get him out of here and never tattooing this guy again.
Right.
And then sure, one of those fucking little movements
seizures,
he spilled the bottle and like broke it.
Oof.
And
so does he wake up after
no, he just kind of like woke up, like looked,
he's still sleeping,
back out.
Oh.
And I'm like I'm getting mad, like I kind of want to hurt this guy. And I grabbed some paper towels and I was like, I put them on his chest. I was like, here, wipe that up, and I'll bring the mop and I'll mop it up. And I go and I get the mop and I come out and he's just like this, and then the paper towels are like under his ass. So I'm like, dude, I could easily knock this fucking guy out. And when he wakes up, I'll just be like, what happened? Bro? You passed out. But I was like, dude, I'm about to get paid. We're almost done. Like, he's about to get out of here. Like, all right, it'll be worth it once I get the money.
Okay.
And what's it called? And then he like tapped out of the session. Like, he was kind of going through it. And so we ended up not even cleaning that, right? Because he didn't wipe it up. So I was like, dude, I'm not gonna give him the pleasure of watching me clean his mess up. So I was like, I'm gonna just leave that shit.
Do you think he knew that he spilt it, or do you think?
Dude, honestly, no. Like, he was not there.
Oh, God.
Which is the only reason why I wasn't taking it like direct disrespect. Like, sure, I was getting mad, but I knew he wasn't like really comprehending the situation.
Because he was out of it, just drunk.
Just out, yeah. And then whatever, he bounced. I cleaned up, and then I called. I'm texting my friend, the one that had referred him, and I'm like, bro, what's up with your boy? And he felt hella bad. He starts hitting me up like, dude, I'm so sorry, because he knew that I only tattooed him because it was like he was referred by him. And then I just told my assistant, like, dude, we're never tattooing.
Have you ever tattooed him?
So then later on, my boy that introduced me to him.
I think I know your boy.
Yeah, dude. He was like, dude, he's hella sorry. Like, the dude had even like sent me some books, some expensive ass books. Like, he mailed them to the studio and like said, like, you know, thank you for the tattoo and yeah. So my boy that I had introduced us calls me and he's like, dude, if you could, like, he was bugging me about it. Like, if you could just talk to him on the phone, like, you don't have to even promise him, like, say that you're gonna tattoo him, but just talk on the phone with him so he leaves me alone. And if you want to tattoo him, you can tattoo him. If not, then you don't have to. I was like, all right. So I got on the phone with him, and he apologized. He was like going through some shit at that time, and
yeah, that's crazy.
And it's crazy because we're hella cool now. Like, that's my boy.
Oh, it's your boy now.
Yeah, so I eventually did tattoo him like maybe a year or so later.
So is he normal?
Yeah, he's normal. He's cool. Yeah, but we did have that first little. It was a bad first impression.
That's a bad first impression. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's and I can only imagine what you were thinking about when you had him there.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't knock him out.
So let's talk about the origins of tattoos. Like, I know that tattoos now are more like they're more mainstream, and like the society is open to people having tattoos, but in some places, I get certain looks. I got a tattoo on the back of my head. Yeah. I got tattoos on my arms. I know that, like, in Japan, when my brother went there with tattoos, they didn't like let him into certain places because it's like gang affiliation. Yeah. Can you kind of talk about why do you think like the tattoos and tattoos on people, maybe not now, but back then, like, had such a negative connotation on everything?
Because negative people had them.
Negative people had them.
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly like gang members and drug addicts and then like people that didn't give a fuck what people thought about him. It was like outlaw, right? Yeah, it was more of an outlaw type of thing.
It was more like yeah. Now, like, with people with tattoos now, like, it's become so mainstream. Like, as far as people, like, there's even TV shows with people having tattoos and everything, which I think it's cool. It's great because, like, it glamorizes tattoos, and I love tattoos, and I love tattoos because of art and everything like that. Do you ever see yourself going to get on a TV show or anything like that?
No. They've reached out, but
yeah,
but I wouldn't. I don't think I would do it.
They reached out. That's dope.
Yeah, it felt good that they reached out, but yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it.
No, like the acting,
yeah, it was just like it's too watered down on the industry. I don't know. It's not for me, I guess. But what's it called? You just reminded me of what we were talking about earlier when I was saying that I'm like the middle child for like the old school and new school generation.
Right.
And like, so yeah, because you were talking about like growing my business, right? So there's a lot of things that I wouldn't do because I have those old school
mentality.
The old school mentality kind of instilled in me. And a lot of it, like, for example, was like courses because like
is there tattoo art? Is there tattoo artists that sell courses online?
Yeah, there is, and they do.
They do.
good.
Education online is fucking huge.
Yeah, it is, and it's crazy because like the old school mentality is like you don't want to. Like, you don't want to give it away, right, to somebody. Like, when my stepdad, like, apprenticed me, even though I was a son, he still made me earn it, like, the old school way. Like, like I said, he fired me. Like, he had, like, expectations from me.
Right.
I didn't get, like, no the easy way because I'm his son. At least the not getting fired as much, maybe,
But that's like one of the best ways to kind of, to learn, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, if you're teaching somebody, you want to make sure that they earn it.
And they want it.
And they want it, yeah. That they really want it because you start remembering how you got it and how hard you had to work. So why would you give it to somebody else for free? And I mean, sure, you can give it to them and not charge them. That's not what I mean by free. I mean, like make that person earn it. And like nowadays, you have artists that learn strictly on online, and I guess you can't really blame them for doing that because if the opportunity's there, why not take it?
Right.
But then, you know, the person that put that video up is like, you're not really picking who you're giving this information to. Like
I get
sure you could like make a lot of money off of it, which is good for that person. I can't really hate on that too much, but now you're giving something special to the public, and they can, whichever kind of person can grab it and roll with it, instead of like compared to like you giving it to somebody where it's more personal and you know that person earned it. And because of that is like the reason why I wouldn't do like courses or anything like that.
Do you
even though that's going to be the future, it's going to be, but I'm not going to do it because of the way I was brought up in the industry.
Hey guys, if you really like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. This will help the channel grow drastically. Share this to 5 different people that you think can benefit from it. Now back to the video. Do you think there's more tattoo artists that are getting into the industry because of online and like on those online courses? Is it getting more saturated?
Yeah, there for sure is, but like I said, you can't really blame them for taking advantage of the opportunity. If it's there, then it's there. But then, like, if you're one of the people that is putting those videos up, you also kind of can't complain about the new generation because it's really your fault, not the person that's watching the videos and rolling with it.
That's true. Super true. Now let's talk about like your leads and like your clients and everything like that. How are you marketing yourself and like how are you getting business? Like your Instagram following is major. I've seen that you've been traveling to like New York, Los Angeles, California. Shit, it's even hard for me to get an appointment with you. We have to go to another country to get an appointment. But like, how are you getting these clients now? Like, you know, you're like at the top. Like, you know, I've seen you come up. You know, I've seen you from like 2,000 followers. You're at like 40,000 followers now, and I've seen like the slow process. And like a lot of my friends that you tattooed in the past are like, yeah, man, like it's hard to get an appointment with Bryan. I'm just like, yeah, man, he's doing his thing. He's doing his damn thing, and you know, I'm happy to see that. Like, how do you get most of your clients now?
So now, I guess a lot of it is through Instagram, which was very important when I was trying to build my clientele. But I mean, there's only so many days in the week. You know, I have 3 kids, so I try to keep my clientele small. And I like to
small.
Like I don't like to have a lot of clients.
Okay.
Because I like someone like you. Like I want to have clients that have big collections.
Right.
And if I have a lot of clients, I'm gonna see you like once every 6 months, and then like it's gonna be hard to grow that collection as fast.
Right. So you now you can, but when you first started, you kind of just took whatever came in.
Whatever, yeah.
But now as you grew your business, it's kind of like me because now I grow my business because in the beginning I was like, fuck it, I'll take whatever because I need the money. But now I can kind of pick and choose which customers I want to work with. So yeah,
exactly that.
So you can pick who you want to work with.
Yeah, who I want to work with, the style, and then also like, you know, I talk to my clients before I even meet them because I want to make sure that we're kind of, you know, we're gonna get along. Like my clients are my friends. Like,
yeah,
I want to be excited to like see that person and like pick up our conversation where we left off.
Right. What's your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone that's gonna be a friend, really. Like someone that's gonna like people like you, honestly, like you and Teddy. Even though like you said, I used to charge you so little back in the day. Like back then, you and Teddy were like my highest paying clients, and I would be hella excited to tattoo you guys, and that's kind of why I still try to hook you guys up as much as I can.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure.
Because you guys were like my highest paying clients. Like, damn, I need more clients like them. And then, honestly, I mean, a lot of my clients now are because of you guys, like, you're friends.
Right. And like it's like an endless stream of like people that are just like trying to get in with you. I'm just like, man, I could only do so much.
I appreciate that you only tell me of some, like, this guy is cool, like, because I know that we'd get along.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, he could afford it, you know, like.
Exactly, because some people they don't know how much a good tattoo is, right? I know that there's some, you know, no disrespect to anybody else, but like there's some tattoo artists that are like, I'm like, where did you get this tattoo from? And I'm just like, you know, they're like, you think it's clean? I'm like, it's all right. it's all right. Like, but, you know, if I'm going to be spending that much money for something to be on my body forever, I'm going to pay. You know, I'm going to pay for it. I don't care because it's something that I cherish. And, like, I'm happy to take off my shirt. Yeah. I'm happy to show off my tattoos. Yeah. So, like, I feel like that's how tattoos should kind of be.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that care about the quality, like yourself. And then there's some people that just want tats. They just want to have the look. So,
yeah.
So I guess that is good for like the people coming up, because that's kind of how I came up, right? Like, homies just wanted tattoos, and I was like, all right, well, I think I'm good, you know, so I'll do it. So it's good for everybody, right? The people that are coming up and the people that are doing their thing already.
What's the craziest request you've ever had for a tattoo?
Man, there's some crazy. I can't really think of that, but like the funniest kind of tattoo I've done.
The funniest.
Like, this is back in the day when I was doing walk-ins. These like 3 white boys came into the shop, and they had like done some bet, right? So the dude that lost the bet, I was gonna tattoo him, and he wanted a camel outline of a camel on his toe. Like a camel toe. And that was pretty funny.
That's a weird tattoo.
Yeah.
You don't take any of those anymore, huh?
No.
It's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So now that you've been tattooing for, you know, a good amount of time, like, where do you see yourself going with tattooing? Do you see yourself like, is there like an end goal? Are you using this as tattooing as like a vehicle to invest into like other businesses, or like what are your plans? You know,
so the plan with my new studio is gonna be to mentor artists, so that I have somebody that, like, when I get all these requests, I could be like, you know, I can't do it, but this is another artist that I recommend, and I could like pass on a lot of them to these people that I'm gonna mentor.
Nice. So
and then also like I was saying earlier, like it's gonna be personal. I'm gonna teach them personally. They're gonna be in the studio with me, and like, I want it to mean something when they say that they learned under me.
Under Bryan Vargas. Nice. So do you plan to open up like multiple studios in the future, or?
No, so I don't want to go like too big with it like that. I want it to be small and personal, and because if I oversaturate it, like if I teach too many people, I mean, first of all, it's going to be very hard to actually like take the time to teach them
every single one.
Yeah, every single one.
It's a lot of energy.
And it's gonna like mean less too. Like if they say they studied under me,
right?
And so I'd rather do like a few people, teach them, and then yeah, just keep one shop. I don't want to scale it too much. Yeah, if I'm able to do a product or something like that, then maybe I would want to like scale that. But not teach too many people. Just keep it small. And then just use the money that I get from tattooing to scale my businesses elsewhere, because yeah, I don't want to like do things that I consider disrespectful to the industry just to make more money. I'd rather, you know, if I do good in tattooing, stack enough money to open up other businesses and things like that.
Nice.
Which is what I kind of started doing.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that.
And a lot of that was honestly I was inspired by you and Teddy.
There you go. Yeah. So now, is there any like tattoo artists? Because I mean, I follow fucking a bunch of tattoo artists and everything like that. Is there any tattoo artists that you like? You really like their style, or you know, you kind of like look up to it as far as like their styles and everything like that?
Yeah, I would say Noah Manuskin. He was somebody from Santa Rosa that my stepdad was like his first mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to tattoo at the shop this in Petaluma, and he eventually moved to LA and grew like an empire over there. Now he's living back up in NorCal, but
Nice.
But yeah, he's doing his thing, and he's a big inspiration for me. I would say that him and my stepdad are kind of like my mentors in everything, life, tattooing, especially in tattooing. Like my stepdad taught me a lot of the old school ways, and then I would say that Noah helped me like really take it even further from there.
Sick. Now, like, as far as tattoos, like, you know, some of the people that are going to be watching this, like, for a really good tattoo and, like, a really good tattoo artist, what are they looking to spend, kind of? Like, you know, like, is it like $5K for, like, a session? I've seen some places, there's that one guy in LA who tattoos, like, Canelo and everything like that. He charges, like, $10K for a session. Like, what's, like, an average cost, you think?
An average cost for, like, a good tattoo?
A good tattoo artist, like a really good tattoo artist that has, like, does really good work, and they'd be, like, happy to show it off.
You're spending G's.
G's, right?
Yeah.
Spending G's?
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to pay more child support.
But, I mean, I could kind of just tap in on that. I know that I've spent close to, like, what do you think, like 30, maybe 30 grand, 40 grand maybe on all my tattoos?
Maybe. I'd say my sleeve that I got done, I spent probably about 30 in one sleeve.
30 grand in one sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever heard stories where people, like, what's the craziest story, like on a bodysuit, like
The amount of money?
Amount of money, like it's
the
people.
The craziest I've heard is from artists in Japan. And, like, somebody traded him a house for
No
a bodysuit.
fucking way.
Yeah.
A house?
A house for a bodysuit.
So that's wild. So that's probably like a couple $100,000. See, the thing is, people when tattoos, people don't understand how expensive they are, and people don't understand, like, you know, the work behind it, and it's like really. So I know that sometimes in some cultures, like, to have like a whole bodysuit, it's almost like a flex because it's like, this is a fucking $100,000 sleeve, like, you know.
Especially if you say, like, by this artist.
By this art.
Yeah, like, you know?
Yeah, and, like, it's a thing, like, if you know, you know type of thing, and it's just like, damn, like, his work is, like, flawless, because when I take off my shirt or whenever I go somewhere and they're just like, dude, your work is super sick, I'm like, hell yeah, it's super sick. Like, I had to sit here for like 12, 13, I had to earn it, 12, 13 hours, you know, at a time to take it, but you know, it's something that I like to show off on there. Now, what was, like, the longest session? I know that me and you have gone through, like, 14-hour sessions, 15-hour sessions. What's your longest session?
Probably, like, 16 hours, but, I mean, that's just tattooing. You still got to factor in, like, stenciling and then designing.
You said how long?
16 of just, like, tattooing.
And so, but I know that you have to do, like the stencil and everything, like it.
Is probably hours. You're probably designing for a couple hours. Like, it just depends.
So you probably
sometimes I'll get in there and we start designing and boom, it's done. 10 minutes. And, all right, cool. We're gonna stencil and just get. But some of these compositions are like a little tricky. We gotta figure them out. We gotta Photoshop.
Right. We do. I remember we do all that stuff. Now, 16 hours, 20 hours. Like,
here's a story.
Okay.
One time I'm tattooing with my boy Noah. On this same trip, I also tattooed your brother on the same trip, but I don't think this specific session was with your brother. We're tattooing, right, and it's probably like 5, 6 a.m., and we're still going. And the sun's starting to come up. I'm, like, drained. Like, we started, like, super early that day, and I'm tattooing with my boy Noah, and the spot we were tattooing, it had a big window, right, and then there's, like, hills. It had, like, a dope little view, and we're watching, like, that the sun's, like, about to come up, and we're, like, looking out the window at all the trees, like, when we were finished with the session, and I just remember being there hella tired, and my boy Noah goes, well, it's about to be epic when the sun comes up. We should hike to the top of the mountain and watch the sun come up. And I just looked at him like, bro, you're fucking crazy. I'm not going to go on a hike right now. I'm going to go to sleep. Like, I got another session in, like, 4 or 5 hours. Like, hell no.
Did you do the hike, though?
No, hell no. I don't even think he did.
No? So what keeps you, like, man, like, you must have that, like, either you get super energized when you tattoo, like, or like you must have had like a lot of energy drinks. Like, what keeps you going? Like 20 hours of work. I can't even work 20 hours, man. That's rough.
I mean, I don't know if I could still do it. I'll have a session every here and there where like.
Is it because like you enjoy so much that you're really putting together and everything's coming across on that tattoo?
Yeah, it is that because I definitely like. I'll tell people I'm tattooing you like 6-8 hours is what you're paying for, but I always end up doing extra one like almost all the time because I love what I do and I'm like super invested. Like if it was like a tattoo I didn't want to do, which I don't do those anymore. Then yeah, all right, you paid for this amount of time, so kick rocks. But I'm just not that type of artist. I enjoy what I do and I make sure that I enjoy what I do, and which is why I always like end up saying like 30 minutes or sometimes even like 4 hours extra for that. But that's not a promise to everybody. You pay for 8 hours, 6-8 hours, and
I know that when my first session with you, I did like a
oh, that was a crazy.
I did a 14 hour.
Talk about
Yeah, it was a 14-hour session. It was the first time I met Bryan, and it was a 13 or 14-hour session, and it was the Benjamin Franklin, half skull, half Benjamin, and I didn't know how bad it was gonna hurt, but I thought
and you got it right in your sternum and your stomach.
Yeah,
in the middle.
My sternum and my stomach, and I'm thinking like, holy shit, why does this hurt so much? But my thing was like, okay, Bryan probably came across like a bunch of people like this all the time. I don't want to be a bitch.
Yeah.
So I was just taking it for like 13, 14 hours, and I was just like, oh, and it just felt so raw, and you're just digging deep in there, and it was just like but after I was like, man, I'm taking off my shirt
especially because you know what it took to earn it.
Yeah, it took what it took to earn it. Like, people don't understand how bad you really have to go through to really earn it. But once you earn it and you see the quality, and like these tattoos are still from, man, like 10 years ago, and they still look fresh. I'm just kind of dark, so I'm dark skinned on there, so it's harder to see. I mean, maybe it's just my skin tone. I don't know, but I love it. I love it. So kind of coming to the end of this podcast, if anybody's like kind of looking to be a tattoo artist, like what are some of the things that you would tell them that you wish you knew before you started tattooing?
Here's what I would tell the new generation. Work at a walk-in shop. Like, it's gonna be hectic, it's gonna be crazy, but you need that. Like, that's what you need to earn it, really.
Right.
Like, even if it's for 6 months or whatever, like, just do it. Work at a walk-in shop, follow the rules of the owner. Now the industry's a little different, so you might not have to do every type of style that walks in. Try to find a good mentor. And yeah, I would say just put in the work, earn it. Like, earn it the right way. Don't be lazy. Too many people are lazy nowadays. They don't want to earn it. They want to take the shortcut. But you kind of have to gain those experiences of like the shitty experiences, so you learn from them, so that then later you could do something about it. Like, all right, I'm only gonna have a higher standard for yourself, carry yourself a little different, and be able to like put the blame on yourself always. Like,
accountability.
Yeah, accountability, because like, if these type of people are coming at you a certain way, it's because of the way you presented yourself. So maybe you got to present yourself different. Like, just be accountable for everything. Don't always blame the clients. Blame yourself.
There you go. Awesome. And there you guys have it, Mr. Bryan Vargas. What are you, like the top tattoo artist in Northern California? I won the award. All right, guys. There you guys have it, Mr. Bryan Vargas. Thank you, guys.